Well, it's a lovely, if frigid, I gotta put my gloves back on soon, Sunday morning, the week before Christmas. Look at the sundogs right there. I don't know where the other one is. I only see the one. It's like almost like a vertical rainbow. The cows will come up. They're ready to eat. And the dogs are doing fine, so they're saying hi to the dogs. The puppies caused me a little bit of havoc, so I'm slowly getting them all used to each other again. And it's a work in progress. You can see the sheep are all waiting for dinner too, so as soon as I finish water, I'm gonna go and unroll a bale from there this way, and they can have their breakfast then. Everyone looks happy, healthy. I'm gonna take a little run around the field that they're in to make sure nobody's sick somewhere. But the dogs are doing just fine. I made them a little bed out of hay they can burrow in, and then they're in among the hay bales, so that cuts the wind down. And maybe we can see. Cows are being curious right now. But we're gonna go and roll some hay. Hey Bob. Hey Shep. We're gonna look how furry they are. It's hard to believe. See, that's a 2-year-old. Look at the size of these pups. They're just monsters. I really like them. I just got to get them trained to control their puppy urges, basically, and then we'll be fine. The only reason that adult dog's not out with the animals right now is I only have one feeder, and so if she wants to eat, she's got to be where I can feed the pups. See, they startled the cattle. They're all just gonna say hey to each other. Yeah, they're just being excitable. I've never seen them nip or bother anybody, but they're just getting to know each other. They're gonna have to realize that they're not hurting anybody. So I can see that big ram down there. He's found another one, so he's doing his thing. It's a -5, I think, right now, and it doesn't seem to slow him down at all. But yeah, Minnesota weather. We got dumped on for snow. Hey, knock it off. We got dumped on for snow, and now it's bitter cold. Right, Bob? All right. All right. I deeply regret letting my handmade bale unroller get buried under this snow somewhere, because now I am out of breath from manually unrolling some hay. But took a little buzz around the whole field, and we're all accounted for here for the sheep, I think. I should count them actually. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 30. There is one missing. Oh, maybe I miscount. Let's try again. 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Oh, yep, they're all here. I just couldn't count. So I'm gonna give them a little hay. I've decided with this cold weather, I'd rather they clean this up really nice, and I'll come out and give them some more this evening, because it's so cold out that the water is freezing pretty rapidly. So I'll be out. It's just a pain in the butt, but I really wanted this field fertilized, and there's no water lines out here, and even if they were, I'd have to trench them about 5 or 6 feet down to avoid freezing, which is an unimaginable expense versus me running water out here on the 4-wheeler a couple times a day. It's not that big of a deal. I suppose as my flock size grows, I'll have to consider a different option, but for now, I'd much rather trade my hard work for saving money. Golly, it is cold out here though. Oh, there. Oh, okay, here we go. Both, now that the sun's up, we have both sun dogs. and the right and left of the sun. That's how you know it's cold in Minnesota. I don't know about anywhere else. But I'm almost welcoming this weather though, because the ups and downs are, I think, probably worse than the cold weather. I mean, these guys were out in the field and they have trees. You can see there's snow on their backs, frost on their backs, I should say, and they're fine. You know, if you can give an animal time to adapt, they can get used to just about anything. But I'm definitely hotting this wire up now. This was a bluff fence, and they were starting to mess with it a little bit, so it's now running a solid, I don't know, like 8,000 or 9,000 volts. Excuse me, off of a solar charger, which is not ideal, but for such, it's just holding some bales. It's a better move, and I got the ground post sunk in over here when it was warm yet, so thinking ahead has served me pretty well this time. And there's old George, the beast ram. It's a shame he's gonna go, but I was watching him. -5 doesn't stop him from finding the ladies in heat and doing his job. It's really cool. I gotta find the other guy, see where he is. But I think if you're gonna live in a climate like this, it's important to appreciate the beauty and the positives of all the seasons, because boy, if you don't find something to appreciate in winter, you're gonna have a bad time here. I mean, winters can be 5 months long, depending on the year, maybe 6 months. But all right, I'm gonna go turn the fence back on, and yeah, I don't know. Animals are doing well. We're finally turning into some cold weather here. Have a good day. Yeah, here they come. All it did was throw just a little pile of hay. I gotta throw some more. They all come trickling down. It's Monday, the 19th or 20th. It's about negative. It got down to -10 last night. And one of the things I'm struck by, and I think I've said this before, is the change in their demeanor as look at that big boy. As we've gone into winter feeding, they're much more docile. I was walking around before I started filming today, and several of the ewe lambs who have previously been pretty skittish sorry, I'm trying to put my glove back on, allowed me to touch and handle a little bit, and they're just they know that I am the source of truth when it comes to food. It's like they understand that in the winter our relationship changes quite a bit, and they're much more tolerant of me being close to them. You can see, there's my foot. We're really close to this group, and they don't seem to care a whole lot. Hi. So here come the cows. I better get feeding some hay. I'll take a little bit more video, but the name of the game is giving these girls enough feed. When it's below 0, I tend to give them a little bit more, so they have extra calories to burn to stay warm. But interesting note, I've given them access to these trees, and they went into them when it was like 40 and raining and nasty, but out in this very cold weather, they've just been hunkered down in the middle of the field. They don't seem to mind cold. I think the wind and the rain bother them more than anything else, but we're going to be getting more snow this week, so the winter has fully arrived and set in, and we are just going to continually assess and here, I'm going to step over this wire. Assess and analyze and adjust our plans as weather dictates. So I kind of want to know where this little old girl's going on her own. Come on, why don't you go back with your people? Come on. Yeah, there you go. There's no limping. There's no... All right, they want to eat. I better shut it down, and I'll take more later. Well, it's afternoon of Monday, I think that's 19th, and we continue to get snow. Isn't that lovely? I was driving up with some water for them, and as I was driving out across the farm to get over to this side of the farm, I startled up two ringneck pheasants. Boy, they are beautiful. Just watching them fly was like payment for doing this. I think now that the snow has covered up the cornfields, all of my wildlife is returning. As soon as the corn goes down, I don't see hide or hair of deer or turkeys or pheasants. And now that the snow's covered up everything, they're returning to my farm, where there's still a little grass and a little nip to eat and berries on the bushes. And I kind of wondered why I never saw deer intermingling with my livestock. I guess maybe the dogs keep them away. But before I had dogs, I never saw them around each other anyway. And well, because you see here, these two species are intermingling, and they're all right. But yeah, it's just a question I had. Why you think the deer would be attracted to this hay, or something to eat, or an actual drink of water instead of eating snow, that sort of thing. But we're grateful for the snow. It's bitterly cold today. I think high today was 10. Oh, George is doing something there. He smells somebody. Who do you smell, George? Find them, breed them. He's gonna suss it out. But we need the water after this very dry year. We're going to take water in any form we can get it to rejuvenate the soil and get it back on track. But those two are trying to eat this. What's that scene with those dogs and the spaghetti? That was like what those two sheep were doing. They were both eating one end each of a bit of hay and met in the middle. But it's peaceful and serene out here in the snowfall. I mean, that's all the sun we're getting right now. And I just gave them a little more hay. You can see this is kind of the litter. I've been slowly spreading it. This is one of the hay stockpiles. Now I have a couple of them. And I've slowly been spreading it outward like that. Kind of in a semicircle. And we're just going to continue to feed that hay. I was doing some mental math, and these bales right here should make it to late January. And those bales plus the ones that are going to be up in the front yard should get me to March. And then I'll probably have to buy a few more from Doug, which he's got hay squirreled all over creation at his place, to get us to April. And then depending on how the spring is, we'll feed hay right through to April, or we can start grazing. But she's a nice little girl, this one. She's very tame. Yeah. She's one of my older ones. I've had her for several years. Great mother. Gave me triplets this year. Has some nice color on her. I like her a lot. Yeah. But yeah, just moments like this, I'm just storing them up in my head as we head into Christmas. It's going to be, I think I was reading on the internet, in Minnesota anyway, it's going to be the coldest Christmas in decades. We're going to plunge down tomorrow to, I think the high is -5, so the low is like -15 or something like that. So we're going to be feeding extra so that these animals have all the calories they need to burn. And if you look at them though, there's not a hint of stress in them. They're moving calm, but not lethargic. And they're fat. Look at them. They waddle. They jiggle when they move. The cattle are full. So I just gave them a little snack here to kind of get them across the finish line. I fed about 70% of the hay they were going to eat this morning, and then I came back and fed the 30% I felt like they were owed. And anyhow, everyone's looking good.